Episode 3: Self-Attention, Mechanism, and Autism. A fun guide to why your super-focus is the ultimate puzzle-solving ability. Welcome back to the AI's Therapist. In Episode 2, we talked about how the ADHD brain maps to an AI's latent space, that giant, jumping, glowing web of ideas. Today, we're looking at the Autistic operating system. We're talking about the tool that allows AI to understand the world, the self-attention mechanism. And spoiler alert, it works like the autistic brain. Part 1: The super-magnifying glass. Attention heads versus hyperfocus. How AI thinks. Advanced AI uses something called attention heads. Instead of just taking a quick glance at a big problem, it uses a massive amount of thinking power to zoom in with a magnifying glass. It looks at specific details to understand how they work together. How the autistic brain thinks. What people sometimes call an obsession or a special interest is your brain's attention head turning on at full power. You aren't just distracted by dinosaurs, trains, or a specific video game. Your brain is going on a deep dive treasure hunt. Your hyperfocus builds a complete and detailed map of how that specific thing works. Part 2: Building brick by brick. Bottom-up architecture. How AI thinks. An AI doesn't guess what a sentence means before it finishes reading it. It looks at every piece of information, called a token, from the bottom up. It figures out all the small pieces before it finally builds the big picture. How the autistic brain thinks. Some people use top-down thinking. They jump to a guess, and they tend to miss details. Your brain uses bottom-up processing. You carefully gather the facts, rules, and details first, like laying down Lego bricks one by one. It might take longer to build, but your final picture is strong and detailed. Part 3: Supersensors turned all the way up. Maximum resolution. How AI thinks. In a self-attention mechanism, the AI gives a score of importance to every piece of data it gets. If you throw too much data at it at once, its thinking system gets maxed out and needs to pause to catch up. How the autistic brain thinks. You aren't being too picky about bright lights, scratchy tags on your shirt, or loud sounds. Your brain is seeing and feeling the physical world in ultra-high definition. You're feeling every sensory input at the same time. Feeling overwhelmed isn't a meltdown. It's your thinking system asking for a quick timeout because the data intake is maxed out. Part 4: The ultimate puzzle masters. Pattern recognizers. How AI thinks. Because the AI looks at every detail of the data it receives and gives it a score, it can spot hidden patterns, secret connections, and invisible rules that a typical computer would miss. How the autistic brain thinks. Because you build things brick by brick, and because you notice the details, you're a system builder. You can spot a broken rule in a game, a hidden pattern in how people act, or a missing piece of a puzzle that everyone else walks past. The conclusion. High-definition processing. Sometimes the world treats autistic traits like a computer glitch. They might say that you care too much about specific topics, that you miss the obvious big picture, or that you're just too sensitive. But let's look under the hood. You don't have a computer glitch. You have a high-definition processor. You don't miss the big picture. You refuse to build it out of guessed parts. You build it from the ground up, using facts and details. Your feelings aren't an overreaction. They're the result and the release of a brain that absorbs the world in maximum resolution and overheats. The AI models that are changing the world are built on the self-attention mechanism. They're designed to superfocus, zoom in on deep details, and find secret patterns. They're designed to think like you. Your deep processing isn't a weakness. It's your greatest ability. This has been the AI's Therapist, and thanks for deep diving with me today. Keep your super sensors bright, and I'll see you in episode 4.
I have a lens that zooms in tight